Now let's try a slightly more difficult problem. A lot of the rest of this chapter is going to be involved in dealing with different problems in the numerator and the denominator to get the partial fractions out. So let's just start out with example 1. X squared plus 4x plus 1 divided by, and then they've already factored this out. It turns out that higher degree polynomials can be pretty difficult to factor, so you'll often find that the problems are going to be factored for you. It's just a matter of me copying it out of the book and getting it right. So the setup is always going to be, you just take these things and go a divided by x minus 1 plus b divided by x plus 1 plus c divided by x plus 3. That's your basic setup. That's the first thing you're going to do. The next thing we're going to do is multiply through by this denominator. Okay, so we get x squared plus 4x plus 1 is equal to, and now in this case, I'm not going to write it out each time, but x minus 1 will cancel with the x minus 1, and we get a times x plus 1 x plus 3 plus b x minus 1 x plus 3 plus c, and that'll be times x minus 1 x plus 1. I ran out of room there. And you can see we've got to multiply these terms out, and then we're going to get a polynomial. So that's going to be of the form, now we're going to have x squared. I'm going to copy this out of the book, but you can imagine squaring all your terms and then gathering up your x squared, your x terms, and your constant terms. Well, let me just copy it out of the book. And we're going to get something like a plus b plus c times x squared plus 4a plus 2b x plus 3a minus 3b minus c. Yeah, something like that. And then now this is going to be exactly the same as the previous problem. We know that a plus b plus c, which is associated with the x squared term, has got to be equal to, in this case, 1. So that gives us our first equation, a plus b plus c equals 1. We also know that these terms must be equal to the term associated with the x term. Here's the x term, the x term. So we know that 4a plus 2b is equal to 4. And then finally, the constant terms, there's 1 here, and it's got to correspond to this, so we get 3a minus 3b minus c has got to be equal to 1. Now we have 3 equations and 3 unknowns, and then you can use a variety of methods to solve for a, b, and c. Once a, b, and c are solved, you go back up here and substitute in and then integrate these equations.